Welcome to the module on structural arrangement of social welfare in India, central and state level. The learning objective of this module is to provide basic understanding on the arrangement of various government structures in central and state level for the welfare and empowerment of the citizens of India, especially to those belongs to the marginalized and disadvantaged sections. The module would help the learner to understand various departments of the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, different bureaus working under the ministry, the target groups of each bureau, various national institute functions under the aegis of different bureau. Now, we will be discussing on the central level structure of social welfare in India. The Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment is a major department, major ministry in the Government of India, established in 1998 to provide welfare measures to the citizens of India, especially the disadvantaged and marginalized. Department under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. There are two departments functioning under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. These departments are the Department of Social Justice and Empowerment and Department of Disability Affairs. These departments are created in the year 2012 by Government of India. Mission of the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment is to empower its target groups, namely scheduled castes, backward classes, senior citizens and victims of alcoholism and substance abuse through its programs for educational, economic and social development and rehabilitation. Objectives of the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. The first objective of the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment is educational and economic development and social empowerment of the scheduled caste, educational and economic development and social empowerment of other backward classes, support to the senior citizens by way of their maintenance, welfare, security, healthcare and productive and independent living, and finally the rehabilitation through whole person recovery approach of victims of substance abuse. Following are the target groups of the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. The first, scheduled castes, second, other backward classes, persons with disabilities, senior citizens and victims of substance abuse. The Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment consists of different bureaus. The four major bureaus which are working under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment are Scheduled Castes Welfare Bureau, Backward Classes Welfare Bureau, Empowerment of the Persons with Disabilities Bureau and Social Defense Bureau. Now, we will be discussing on Scheduled Caste Welfare Bureau. The Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment is a nodal ministry to oversee the interests of the scheduled castes. The focus of the Scheduled Caste Development Bureau is the Ministry of the Social Justice and Empowerment is on educational empowerment, economic empowerment and social empowerment of the scheduled castes through various schemes and programs of the ministry. The Bureau intervenes for justice to the scheduled castes and affirmative action including reservation in private sector for scheduled castes. Organizations functioning under Scheduled Caste Welfare Bureau. There are 6 organizations constituted by Government of India working under the Scheduled Caste Welfare Bureau of the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. The first is Babu, Jagjivan, National Foundation. Second, Dr. Ambedkar Foundation. Third, National Commission for Safai, Karamcharis, National Commission for Scheduled Castes, National Safai Karamcharis, Finance and Development Corporation, and finally National Scheduled Caste Finance and Development Corporation. First, we will see the functions of the Babu Jagjivan National Foundation. This foundation was established in the year 2008. It is an autonomous institution in the memory of Babu Jagjivan Ram. The objectives of the foundation is to propagate his ideology and philosophy of life and missions as vision to create a casteless and classless society, eradication of untouchability and continuous struggle for achieving social justice for the Dalit, downtrodden and weaker sections. Second, Dr. Ambedkar Foundation. Dr. Ambedkar Foundation is an autonomous institution which is established in the year 1992 by Government of India. The objective of the foundation is to implement programs and activities for furthering message of Baba Sahib Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. The third is National Commission for Safai Karamcharis. The National Commission for Safai Karamcharis was constituted in the year 1994 by Government of India. This commission is constituted according to the provisions of the National Commission for Safai Karamcharis Act of 1993. The objective of this commission is to promote and safeguard the interests and rights of Safai Karamcharis. The next is National Commission for Scheduled Caste. National Commission for Scheduled Caste is constituted by Government of India according to the provisions in the Constitution of India. The objective of the commission is to provide safeguard against the exploitation of the scheduled caste. The commission promotes and protects the social, educational, economic and cultural interests based on the special provisions made in the Constitution of India. The fifth is National Safai Karamcharis Finance and Development Corporation. It is a Government of India undertaking which is established in the year 1997. The objective of this corporation is all-round socio-economic upliftment of Safai Karamcharis, scavengers and their dependents all over India. The next is National Scheduled Castes Finance and Development Corporation. It is an institution under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India, for fighting poverty through entrepreneurship. The corporation finances, facilitates and mobilizes funds for the economic empowerment of the persons belonging to the scheduled caste families living below double the poverty line. The next bureau is Backward Classes Welfare Bureau. The Backward Classes Welfare Bureau was established in 1993 by Government of India. The objectives of this bureau are policy, planning and implementation of the programs and schemes relating to the social and economic empowerment of other backward classes in India. The bureau also looks after matters relating to two other institutions which are set up for the welfare of OBC. The institutions are National Commission for Backward Classes and National Backward Classes Finance and Development Corporation. National Commission for Backward Classes. The National Commission for Backward Classes is a statutory body established in the year 1993 by Government of India under the National Commission for Backward Classes Act of 1993. The Commission considers inclusion in and exclusions from the list of communities notified as backward for the purpose of job reservations. The Commission also provides the needful advice to the Government of India related to the matters of backward classes. National Backward Classes Finance and Development Corporation. This corporation is established in the year 1956 by Government of India. The objective of this corporation is to promote economic and developmental activities for the benefit of the backward classes. The corporation also assists the target groups in skill development and self-employment ventures. The next bureau is Empowerment of the Persons with Disabilities Bureau. Government of India established the Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities Bureau under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment for the Welfare of the Disabled. The purpose of this bureau is to empower the persons with disabilities, is to ensure equal opportunities and full participation of them. The scheme of Empowerment of the Persons with Disabilities Bureau. Following are the various schemes for the disabled supported by this bureau. The first, assistance to the disabled persons for purchase, fitting of the aids and appliances, Deen Dayal Disabled Rehabilitation Scheme, Scheme of National Awards for Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities and Scheme of National Scholarship for Persons with Disabilities. The first scheme is assistance to the disabled persons for purchase or fitting of aids and appliances scheme. The main objective of this scheme is to assist the needy disabled persons through providing standard aids and appliances that can promote their physical, social and psychological rehabilitation. The second scheme is Deen Dayal Disabled Rehabilitation Scheme. This scheme is intended to promote the voluntary action of the persons with disabilities. Under this scheme, financial assistance is given to the voluntary organizations. The third scheme, Scheme of National Awards for Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities. The objective of the scheme is to recognize the outstanding employers of persons with disabilities as well as of the most outstanding employees. Scheme of National Scholarship for Persons with Disabilities. The purpose of this scheme is to support students suffering from disability, that is at least 40% disability, for selected courses. Now, we will be discussing on National Institute under Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities Bureau. There are 8 national institutes which are working under the Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities Bureau. They are: first, National Institute for Hearing Handicapped, Mumbai; second, National Institute for Physically Handicapped, New Delhi; third, National Institute for Mentally Handicapped, Secunderabad; fourth, National Institute of Visually Handicapped, Dehradun; fifth, National Institute for Orthopedically Handicapped, Kolkata; sixth, National Institute for Rehabilitation, Training and Research, Cuttack; seventh, National Institute for Empowerment of Persons with Multiple Disabilities, Chennai; and eighth, Indian Sign Language Research and Training Center in partnership with Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi. Now, the next bureau is Social Defence Bureau. The Social Defence Bureau of the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment undertakes programs for the benefits of the victims of substance abuse, children in need of care and protection, and welfare of the elderly. The Social Defence Bureau consists of 2 divisions for specific target groups. These divisions are Senior Citizens Divisions and Victim of Substance Abuse Division. The purpose of this bureau is to ensure equitable treatment to the sections of a society who have suffered social inequalities, exploitation, discrimination and injustice. The target groups of Social Defence Bureau. The first target group of the Social Defence Bureau is neglected and marginalized people, abandoned destitutes, neglected and delinquent juveniles who need care and protection, the drug addicts and offenders, and the elderly, and a host of others who need special care, protection and support. Schemes of Social Defence Bureau. The Social Defence Bureau consists of 4 schemes for the various target groups. The first scheme is Integrated Program for Older Persons. Second, Scheme of Assistance to Panchayati Raj Institutions, Voluntary Organizations, Self-Help Groups for the construction of old age homes and multi-service centers for older persons. The third scheme is Scheme of Assistance for the Prevention of Alcoholism and Substance Abuse and for Social Defence Services. And the last scheme is, it's a 6-month course in geriatric care. Now, we will be discussing on Integrated Program for Older Persons. The main objective of the scheme is to improve the quality of the life of the elderly by providing basic amenities like shelter, food, medical care and entertainment opportunities, and by encouraging them productive and active aging. The second scheme is Scheme of Assistance to the Panchayati Raj Institutions, Voluntary Organizations, Self-Help Groups for the construction of old age homes or multi-service centers for elderly. Under the scheme, financial assistance is provided to the NGOs, autonomous bodies, educational institutions, cooperative societies up to 90% of the project cost for setting up and maintaining the daycare centers, old age homes, mobile medical care units and non-institutional services for older persons. The next scheme is Scheme of Assistance for the Prevention of Alcoholism and Substance Abuse for Social Defense Services. The objective of this scheme is to create awareness and educate people about the ill effects of the alcoholism and substance, and to provide for the whole range of the community based services for the identification, motivation, counseling, de-addiction, aftercare and rehabilitation. The scheme is revised with effect from the 1st January 2015. And the 6th month course in geriatric care is the next scheme. The objective of this scheme is to develop and train a cadre of skilled caregivers and supervisory level personnel to meet the demand for providing skill based, field oriented, trained personnel in the care of the elderly. The course covers subjects like social gerontology, basic geriatrics, applied geriatrics and geriatric nursing. Now, the National Institutes under Social Defense Bureau. The National Institute of Social Defense is situated at New Delhi. It is an autonomous institute working under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, directly comes under the Social Defense Bureau. NISD provides input for formation of the social defense policies and programs of the Government of India and gives technical support for strengthening program interventions. Now, we will be looking into state level structure of social welfare in India. In every state of India, there is a department functioning for the welfare of the disadvantaged sections in the community. The objective of these departments are to provide and ensure the well-being of the target group. Its services are dedicated to the socio-economic empowerment of the target groups, include the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, economically backward classes, other backward classes, special backward classes, persons with disabilities and children who need care and protection, and women and elderly. In few states, there are specific departments for women and children. For example, in the state of Karnataka, there is a special department is constituted by the government of Karnataka for the welfare of women and children. The name of the departments also varies state to state. For example, the Social Justice and Empowerment Department is the name of the department in case of the Rajasthan state. In the case of Kerala, it is Social Justice Department, and in the case of Tamil Nadu, it is Social Defense Department. The state departments consist of various schemes for the welfare of the different target groups, which generally implemented through different stakeholders like voluntary organizations, local self-government and academic institutions. State level departments are also functioning as a coordinating departments to implement various policies, legislations, programs and schemes of Government of India. Now, we will be coming to the summary of this module. From the above module, you would understood about the basic understanding of the social welfare arrangements at central and state level, major target groups of the ministry, that are scheduled castes, other backward classes, persons with the disabilities, senior citizens and victims of substance abuse. Major bureaus of Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment are Scheduled Caste Welfare Bureau, Backward Classes Welfare Bureau, Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities Bureau and Social Defense Bureau. We also saw the various statutory institutions, national institutes, foundations and schemes for different target groups comes under these bureaus. We also discussed about in every state, the concerned state government is committed to the uplifting the weaker sections according to the directive principles of state policy of the Constitution of India, and each respective state government is running different welfare schemes to the target groups. Thank you very much for attending this session.